Mike Moore Media.
I'm talking to our friend Steve Scott, president of Tri-Statesteel in Reidsville. Steve's on the line now. Hey, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Mike. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and we're doing this podcast today in the 9 o'clock hour on September 11th, a life-changing day and time for our nation. And I know before we get into some other things in this podcast, you'd like to say a few words about that as well, Steve.
It is a day that all of us, obviously, Mike, never forget.
No.
It was so staggering. And then the horrific economic fallout that followed was also staggering. So the loss of life, the sacrifices that were made, the first responders' reaction, overwhelming is all that I can ever remember.
Mm-hmm.
is overwhelming. And then the economic impact that followed over the following months was incredible. I remember the month of December, Mike, of 2001. We did as much business in the month of December that we had been averaging per week prior to September 11th.
My goodness, wow.
Yeah, so 75% of our business disappeared. And, you know, a lot of people remember 2008, 2009, the economic crash. A lot of people suffered horrifically here in the last few years from the COVID situation. But the economic impact that was felt because of 9/11 was incredible. And I certainly don't say all that to diminish anything that happened on the ground in Pennsylvania or New York City or Washington, D.C. I just like to remind people, one, to take a moment and remember, but two, also, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to talk about resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we as a nation and us as humans can seemingly bounce back from anything. There's positivity to be found in everything, and even on a day like today, I think the resiliency that we all jumped through hoops to find is powerful, and I think that's a message that we should all remember, because you know life is hard, but life carries on, and we don't have a choice but to carry on, and I think this day is a testament to that.
And I know you and I have talked about this perspective as well, Steve, that whether we're looking at what happened today at the World Trade Center and almost 3,000 lives that were lost, and we're looking at the earthquake that's just happened in Morocco, 2,000 people died there. Life is precious, and we should enjoy the moment we're in with our family, our friends, and don't ever forget that.
Yes, I agree, Mike. And we talk about this at Tri-Statesteel a lot. Mm-hmm. The idea that life is hard. It's real. There's a notion that somehow, and I think a lot of it's tied up with social media, that life is supposed to be glamorous and spectacular and all of these things that people see but aren't necessarily experiencing on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
The reality is life is really hard, and we just need to do hard better.
Steve,
and I think it's important to hear. I think people need to hear it. Because this thing called life, it's not a cupcake. It's tough.
And running a business like Tri-Statesteel is not a piece of cake either.
No.
And so we're going to turn here and focus on your business as and your recognition here as a recipient of the Triad Business Journal Fast 50 Award for 2023, honoring Tri-Statesteel's growth and commitment to wonderful customer service. So let's go there for a moment, and I know you'll be officially receiving that award later in the month. But first, a word of congratulations to you and your team.
I appreciate it, Mike. The hard work that goes into small business, any small business, is tremendous, and it is daunting, and it's exhausting, and it's relentless, and every once in a while you come up for air and you take a big gulp of air, and something good happens, and you say, "Oh wow, that's wow, that feels good."
Yeah, it's worth it all.
Well, I don't know that the worth it all for us is about the impact that we get to make by the successful selling of steel. That's
Sure.
what makes it worth it to us.
Right.
But every once in a while, it's nice to get a pat on the back. I'm not going to lie, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We all need an attaboy now and again. And being recognized by the Triad Business Journal for the Triad's 2023 Fast 50 Fastest Growing Companies, I think for me, it's just really nice for our employees to say, hey, people are noticing what you're doing. You're working really hard. Congratulations for this. I'll give a lot of credit to Lee Cockrum and the folks at Rockingham County Economic Development. Lee reached out to us and suggested that this was an opportunity that we should be engaged in, and so we followed her lead on that. And so another one of the maybe unseen things that happen in economic development in the county that they kind of do for businesses is to make sure that people are getting their word out, and so kudos to them for that, and thank you to them for that. But we are excited. We get to go down to the High Point University Arena and Conference Center on September 28th at 5:30 p.m. and be honored with a bunch of other really, really fast-growing, obviously, companies. And it's a 3-year running tally of growth. It's exciting, and it does feel good, and it's nice to it is nice to get that pat on the back every once in a while, and I'm just really excited for the employees of Tri-Statesteel because they work so hard, and it's nice to be rewarded.
It certainly is. Yeah. Well, we've talked more than once about your team, your loyal employees, and about your dad and the company founding going back to 1988, and your many years of growth and what that means, not only for your company but for our region's economic landscape. I believe it's worded in some of the information here about that award, because you at Tri-Statesteel have certainly made an impact in so many ways, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Steve.
I appreciate that, Mike. It does matter to us, you know. You and I have talked about my dad a number of times, and I would be remiss not to talk about him here. This is our second Triad Business Journal Award. In 2019, we received the Triad Business Journal Family Business Award, and my dad was not well at the time, and it was really one of the last events he got to enjoy was receiving that award. And I'll never forget, he told me, "I don't want to go." He was a pretty gruff fella. He said, I don't want to go." And I said, "Well, I need you to go." And my mom and my wife and our youngest daughter and members of the community came, and he said, I'm not going up there to receive this award. I don't want any part of it. I said, okay. And they called our name, and he wasn't particularly well at the time, but he found his way out of that chair and up to the stage and got the plaque, and I have a great picture of us from that day, and it meant a lot to him to win that Family Business Award, and I feel certain that he would be excited about this Fast 50 award as well. People have asked me regularly about our growth and expansion and what would my dad think, and I laugh and I said I think he would think that I was crazy, but at the same time he would be excited, and he would be excited for our employees. He really enjoyed our employees. My dad loved to come to work. It was everything to him, and he was proud of all the work that he did, and so this would be something that he would be proud of. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you acknowledging the impact on the community, because it's intentional. He always said, you don't get a choice. You're going to leave a legacy. But you do get to choose what your legacy looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And those words have stuck with me. I want us as a company to be highly intentional about the impact and legacy we leave on this community. It matters to me. I was raised to make sure it matters to me, and I will continue in every way that I can to continue that legacy. It's important.
Well, you said something just a moment ago. Your dad loved coming to work, and from the times I've been around your people, everyone seems to like to come to work. It's just a good working environment. And for those that may not know, your wholesale facility there on Tamco Road has doubled in size in the last year. You've opened the metal retail store on Richardson Drive. People love that. That's open 7 to 7 weekdays, 7 to 1 on Saturdays. And I was just on your Facebook page before we started this podcast, and people just always saying positive things about that, and they appreciate the customer service. They'll be back, and you're making it happen. So thank you for that commitment to Rockingham County and beyond. And congratulations again, Steve, and the tri-statesteel team.
Thanks, Mike. We really appreciate it. We appreciate our relationship with you. Haven't gotten to talk to you in a couple of months, so it's good to be back with you, my friend.
It is. All the best again, and have a great continuing success there in business. And we'll talk again, if not before, next month for sure.
Sounds great, Mike. Right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Steve. Steve Scott, President, CEO of Tri-Statesteel in Reidsville. And again, congratulations to the company receiving the Triad Business Journal Fast 50 Award for 2023. Lots of successes there with that company. They'll be officially receiving that award, as Steve mentioned, on September 28th at High Point University, that program at 5:30. For more information, I'd like to think that everyone knows about the good work of Tri-Statesteel, but perhaps if you don't, you can get more information on their website, tri-statesteel.com, and on Facebook at Tri-Statesteel Products. And thank you for your support